When Western political leaders travel into active war zones, taking a train is a logistical necessity. But for North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, riding the rails is a constant, deliberate choice. Even though he has access to his own state aircraft, he almost never uses it. His preferred mode of transport is the Taeyang-ho, a train named after the sun. And for a vehicle meant to quickly transport a head of state, it is agonizingly slow, capping out at a maximum speed of just 60 kilometers per hour. This crawl is the result of two major factors. First, the train itself carries an immense, unusual amount of physical weight. Second, North Korea's domestic railway infrastructure is in a state of deep disrepair, forcing the massive carriages to move carefully across deteriorating tracks. Choosing a week-long journey over a 3-hour flight reveals how survival against perceived threats shapes the regime's logistics. On these tracks, security and tradition hold more weight than efficiency. Once you step inside the carriages, that extreme paranoia gives way to a highly controlled, deeply insulated microenvironment. The interior features a deeply eclectic aesthetic. Shiny wood floors run beneath hot pink sofas and zebra-patterned seating. Further down the train, a private dining car serves imported delicacies, offering a menu filled with fresh French, Russian, and Japanese cuisine. It functions as a fully operational mobile command center, complete with secure satellite phones and strategic maps covering the walls. And to fill the downtime, there is a dedicated troupe of singers stationed on board to personally serenade the dictator as he works. It is a hyper-luxurious rolling palace, moving slowly through a country famous for severe food shortages. The supreme leader traverses his territory inside a gilded cage, completely shielded from the harsh physical reality of the nation he controls. The extreme weight of the train makes sense once you look closely at its exterior construction. Every single window is reinforced with thick, bulletproof glass, while the floors and undercarriages are lined with heavy steel plates, engineered to absorb the blast from a planted explosive. It is also actively armed to return fire. Multiple compartments carry heavy weaponry, including anti-tank missiles and heavy machine guns to repel ground ambushes, alongside anti-aircraft systems designed to shoot down incoming aerial strikes. If those defenses somehow fail, the convoy has strict escape contingencies. The train hauls an onboard helicopter for rapid evacuation and carries 2 heavily armored Mercedes limousines to execute secure ground transport for the last mile. The armor, the missile systems, and the pre-positioned escape vehicles define the Taeyang-ho as a mobile military base, built to withstand a constant state of siege. The main train never travels alone, sandwiched in a convoy of 3 trains. The vanguard drives ahead, scanning the tracks for explosives. Bringing up the rear is a mobile barracks, packed with heavy security personnel ready to deploy instantly. This ground convoy is supported by a constant aerial presence. Helicopter scouts track the route from above, while cargo planes are pre-stationed at the closest airports along the path to drop in additional personnel or supplies if a crisis hits. To ensure track clearance, the state built 20 private railway stations exclusively for this specific convoy. And whenever the leader is moving, all power to every other commercial train line in the surrounding network is completely shut off. Transporting the dictator effectively paralyzes the local infrastructure for everyone else. The entire transit grid halts to accommodate the deep paranoia of a single passenger. This strict reliance on the rail network is an inherited trait. It stems directly from his father, Kim Jong-il, who developed an intense, lifelong fear of flying and passed down the custom of armored trains. In 2001, the elder Kim took this preference to the absolute limit, spending nearly a full month inside his armored carriage to slowly cover a 20,000-kilometer round trip across the continent to Moscow. 3 years later, the threat level permanently escalated. In 2004, a massive explosion obliterated Ryongchon Station near the Chinese border, leaving behind a deep crater. Kim Jong-il's personal train had passed through that exact location just hours earlier. While the exact cause remains disputed, the timing was too close for the regime to ignore. The suspected assassination attempt cemented the country's security protocols, mutating a personal phobia into the hyper-militarized, multi-generational tradition we see today. This map tracks the geographical route of Kim's latest excursion. The heavy train slowly creeps north out of Pyongyang, covering over 1,000 kilometers over 2 full days to cross the border and reach the Vostochny Cosmodrome in the Russian Far East. The green carriages pull into the station, unloading the supreme leader onto a red carpet to initiate a highly calculated diplomatic mission. He is met by Vladimir Putin inside a massive spaceport hangar, kicking off an unusual display of diplomatic theater. The trip involves extensive tours of the launch facilities, awkward handshakes, state dinners with vodka, and even a visit to a local walrus show. But beneath the odd cultural pageantry, the meeting is deeply pragmatic. This is a deliberate negotiation between two heavily sanctioned global pariahs who urgently need each other's help. Russia is entrenched in a prolonged war against Ukraine, and their military is burning through standard artillery ammunition faster than they can produce it. They need immediate access to North Korea's massive, fully compatible stockpiles of Soviet-era shells. The transaction is already well underway. According to the U.S. government, North Korea has rapidly shipped over 1,000 shipping containers packed with heavy ammunition and military equipment across the border into Russian territory. In exchange for resupplying the Russian front lines, North Korea is securing a valuable return asset. They are seeking classified technical support from Russian engineers to advance their own struggling nuclear weapons, satellite networks, and ballistic missile programs. North Korean state media frames this convoy as a symbol of modesty, depicting a leader who stays close to the ground. In practice, the armored train acts as a mobile fortress, allowing an isolated regime to maintain physical security while venturing on to the global map to negotiate the trade of heavy ammunition.